Hispanic Americans are individuals of Latin American or Spanish descent. In the 1960s, the Hispanic American population in the United States saw significant growth, tripling from 3 million to over 9 million. Mexican Americans constitute the largest Hispanic American group, primarily residing in the Southwest and California. Many trace their roots back to Mexicans who remained on land ceded to the United States after the 1848 Mexican-American War. Others are descendants of immigrants who arrived following Mexico's 1910 revolution, while some came as temporary laborers during the 1940s and 1950s. In the 1960s, nearly 500,000 Mexicans immigrated to the U.S., seeking better job opportunities. Since the 1960s, approximately 1 million Puerto Ricans have lived in the United States, with a significant concentration in the Northeast, particularly in New York City. Cuban immigrants also arrived in large numbers during this period, fleeing the Cuban Revolution of 1959. Major Cuban communities formed in cities like New York City, Miami, and New Jersey. Following the 1960s, thousands of Salvadorans, Guatemalans, Nicaraguans, and Colombians immigrated to the United States to escape political persecution and poverty in their home countries. Despite their contributions to American society, many Hispanic Americans faced challenges, such as poor living conditions and discrimination in their new communities. In the 1960s, Hispanic Americans embarked on a quest for equal rights and recognition, championing their cause across various fronts. Among these advocates were Mexican American farm workers, who toiled in California's fruit and vegetable fields under grueling conditions for meager wages. Leading the charge was Cesar Chavez, who envisioned uniting farm workers under a single union. In 1962, he co-founded the National Farm Workers Association, which later merged with a Filipino agricultural union to form the United Farm Workers Organizing Committee, UFWOC, in 1966. Despite resistance from California's grape growers, Chavez's nationwide grape boycott proved successful, resulting in improved contracts for union workers by 1970, ensuring higher pay and additional benefits. Simultaneously, Hispanic Americans sought greater acknowledgement of their cultural heritage. Puerto Ricans advocated for bilingual education, leading to the passage of the Bilingual Education Act in 1968, which funded programs catering to students who spoke languages other than English. Additionally, a segment of young Mexican Americans embraced their cultural identity by adopting the term Chicano or Chicana, previously used pejoratively, as a symbol of pride and solidarity, akin to the Black Power movement. One influential figure in the Chicano movement was Rodolfo Corky Gonzalez, who founded the Crusade for Justice in 1966, promoting Mexican-American nationalism through legal assistance, cultural promotion, and bilingual education initiatives. Politically, Hispanic Americans organized within the existing two-party system, while also establishing independent political movements. José Ángel Gutiérrez, for instance, founded La Raza Unida, the United People Party, which fielded Hispanic American candidates and secured positions in city government offices, furthering the community's representation and advocacy for their rights and interests. Native Americans, like Hispanic Americans, encompass a diverse array of groups, yet they have commonly confronted similar challenges. These challenges include poverty, high rates of unemployment, chronic health issues, and shorter life expectancies. In the 1950s, the Eisenhower administration attempted to address some of these issues by integrating Native Americans into mainstream American culture. This initiative involved relocating Native Americans from reservations to urban areas. However, this relocation effort proved largely unsuccessful, as many Native Americans who moved to cities remained impoverished and resisted assimilation into mainstream society. Desiring greater autonomy and control over their lives, representatives from 61 Native American groups convened in 1961 to voice their concerns and demand the right to determine their own way of life. In response, President Johnson established the National Council on Indian Opportunity in 1968, tasked with ensuring that government programs aligned with the needs and desires of Native Americans. However, many young Native Americans were dissatisfied with the pace of change and sought more comprehensive reforms. This led to the formation of the American Indian Movement, which advocated for greater rights and often resorted to confrontational tactics, including acts of violence. Despite ongoing challenges, Native Americans achieved significant legal victories through the court system during the 1960s and 1970s. These legal battles resulted in expanded educational opportunities and increased land rights for Native American communities, marking important strides towards greater self-determination and empowerment.